In this video, we're talking about some high plains insanity as a big storm system sparks a multi-day severe weather outbreak. This energy will be carried into next week as a very active weather pattern will bring lots of severe weather to many in the US. Then, we're watching the tropics as things are already beginning to get interesting. Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. I think I have my internet issues resolved. I think we're good to go from here on out. I'm sorry for the lack of videos, but always remember, in situations where I can't post full updates on YouTube, you can always get brief updates from me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Ryan Hall, y'all, is my name on all of those platforms, so make sure you follow me over there. And without further ado, let's start talking about the weather. All right, here's a big old look at the United States of America. And first things first, let's slide over here to the east and check out this bad boy. What is this? That's right, what you're looking at here is the first tropical storm of the season. This is subtropical storm Anna. Just north and east of Bermuda here, we've got a wind speed of 47 miles per hour. The central pressure is around 1,006 millibars. And right now, the direction that it's heading is west. But as you can see, according to this track here, it's very quickly going to slide off to the east. And then it may actually curl around and try to recycle and get back into some warmer areas of the Atlantic Ocean. We're not 100% sure about this yet. A lot of the models actually have this going directly off to the north and east. But if it does curl around like this, we will have to watch it very closely, because then it gets back into a region where it could possibly affect the United States a long time from now. But it's definitely something to watch. Now, coming back over to land, you can see this incredibly visible area of moisture streaming in from the Gulf of Mexico into the high plains, into the Texas and Oklahoma region, all the way up into Canada. And this stream of moisture is not going to leave us anytime soon. We've got a big trough over here on the west that's just digging up all that moisture, and we're actually going to get a multi-day severe weather outbreak out of it, and that energy is going to carry over into next week. And if we turn the satellite imagery off, you can see where we're expecting severe weather today. Denver's in a slight risk of severe weather. Roswell, New Mexico is under a slight risk of severe weather. The entire I-25 corridor from New Mexico all the way up into the Cheyenne region is in a slight risk of severe weather. And we actually have a couple areas today that have a 2% or a 5% chance of tornadoes today. So it does look like it's going to be pretty active out there. Let's actually take a look at that on the weather models. All right, this is the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh model. You can keep up with the date and time up here as I move this forward, and we're going to kind of look and see what the radar could look like as we go further on into the day today. As you can see right now, around 1 p.m., we've got showers and thunderstorms working through eastern Texas, central parts of Oklahoma, and also into northern parts of Missouri. Okay, these are going to be below severe limits. Actually, some of these storms could get a little gnarly with some small hail, but nothing too much to worry about here. Once again, our biggest threat area is going to be over to the west on the front range of Colorado and eastern New Mexico, and also in western Nebraska. So let's put this bad boy into motion and take a look at what's going to happen there. As you can see already by 3 p.m. Remember, this time is in eastern, so that's actually going to be 2 or 3 p.m. Central time out here. But as you can see, we've got some storms going up here, especially in central Colorado and central and eastern New Mexico. And some of these could be supercell thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes, okay? But especially, we're going to be watching out for that large hail threat, potentially some straight line damaging wind threats with these storms as well. We've also got a little bit area of storms popping up here in northern Nebraska. Let's keep pushing this forward. And once we get to around 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern, that's when we're really looking at the apex, the greatest intensity of these storms, especially as they move into Nebraska here. There is a 5% chance of tornadoes up here, so if you live in that area, make sure you watch out. Also, we're going to have a big hail problem in the front range of Colorado. As these storms move forward, there's a ton of cold air aloft here for these to work with, and a ton of warm air and a lot of updraft driven energy out in front of these storms. So I really do believe we're going to see some gorilla hail today out in eastern Colorado. And if you don't know what gorilla hail is, it's just really large hail. It's a fun name we like to use rather than large damaging hail, because that's boring. Anyways, gorilla hail is possible in eastern Colorado today, but especially some severe weather is going to be expected in western Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and maybe into western Kansas as we get later into the evening tonight. But as you can see pretty quickly, here we are at 10 p.m. Eastern. We've got these storms already kind of fanning out and lining out and becoming a convective linear system of storms. And once this happens, once these storms really kind of fan out, we're going to be talking about a much less tornado threat and a much less hail threat, but actually the wind threat's still going to be there, as some of these could turn into bow echoes and little squall lines of storms, especially right here in the extreme western regions of Oklahoma and Texas, and extreme eastern New Mexico. We could probably see some wind damage with those storms there as they work through, okay? And we're going to push that forward. They're going to try to survive the overnight hours, but they'll die out pretty quickly. Just some rumbles of thunder here and there if these storms come over you, at 2 or 3 a.m. tonight. Not expecting much of anything, but tomorrow we do have another slight risk of severe weather, and this one was actually issued 4 days ago, I believe. So we've been seeing this one coming for a while, and this is the day that I'm referring to as high plains insanity, and I'll show you why here in a second. We are going to see, once again, we still have that big stream of moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. We still have that big trough over here, and we still have that cool air available back here. Look at this. We got snow back here in Wyoming. So all that's going to come together right here in this area, and we're going to be talking about some very significant severe weather tomorrow on Sunday. So let's watch that play out. As you can see, between 2 and 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we're going to have some big storms pop up over here in Wyoming and South Dakota and Nebraska. And as they move off to the east, they are going to become, once again, a line of thunderstorms with embedded supercells, okay? This is not going to be one of those situations where we have discrete supercells in the beginning and then they just kind of turn into this big nasty line. What this looks like is there's such a strong mesoscale convective system coming together that it does look like that during the main heating of the day, we're going to see a line of embedded supercells come together. Now, I don't think this is going to be like a tornado outbreak or anything. The main threat here probably is going to be straight line damaging winds as the squall line moves through, but check out the southern side of this, okay? If you're on the southern side of this, you can see all these separations in the storm here. I do believe what the HRRR is trying to show us is that there's going to be an attribute to this storm that allows for these supercells to maintain their intensity despite the fact that there's a cold pool of air behind them trying to drive them forward, okay? So I do believe on the southern side of wherever this line of storms pops up tomorrow, we are going to be talking about an increased large hail threat and also an increased tornado threat. I do believe right now we have a 5% chance of tornadoes out here in this area. That may actually be upgraded to a 10% chance, and if that happens, we may actually go live here on the channel to cover it. I know there's not a lot of people that live out in this area, but I made a commitment, anytime there's a 10% chance of tornadoes or a moderate risk of severe weather, I'm going live. So if you want to come join me for that, be here tomorrow. But once again, western Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, I would watch that area, especially for, severe thunderstorms tomorrow, but the threat actually extends all the way up into South Dakota as well, okay? Then the Storm Prediction Center does have that 5% chance of tornadoes out here, and that may be extended a little bit or shifted a little bit to the south, given this new model data. But even if it doesn't, even on the northern side of this line, we are looking at the potential for tornadoes and strong winds and damaging hail, okay? Pretty much everybody in western South Dakota and western Nebraska tomorrow needs to be on high alert for severe weather because it's just one of those days. It's late May, it's severe weather season out here. You guys have seen it before, and just make sure you're ready for it. Make sure you have a way of getting warnings and all that good stuff. And let's keep pushing this forward. And as you can see, these storms do try to make it all the way into eastern South Dakota and central Nebraska, but they will weaken significantly by 2 a.m. on Monday. We do have a cluster of possibly some big storms down here in western Kansas that have been, going on the whole day. And I do believe that's possible too, but there's not a lot of wind shear down here. So, if these become tornadic, I do believe that would be a little bit of a surprise. However, we should also watch this area too, as if this cluster of storms does pop up, they could be discrete in nature and, take advantage of all of the ingredients in the atmosphere and kind of surprise us a little bit with their intensity. But as of right now, this does look like just a slight severe weather risk. Let's keep pushing this forward. And this only goes out to 8 a.m. on Monday. And that's what we're looking at. We still got our big stream of moisture. We still got our trough. It's starting to eject to the east. But yeah, that's what the short-term forecast looks like right now. It's just some severe weather, okay? This ain't nothing crazy. We call it high plains insanity because a lot of storm chasers out here are going to have a great time if a tornado actually forms. It's great terrain up here. It's a lot of times the tornadoes at this time of year that form up there are beautiful in nature. They're very photogenic, low precipitation supercells. So anybody who's out there storm chasing, good for you. I think you're going to have a good day, especially on Sunday, trying to wrangle them naders up. All right. Now let's zoom out, look at the whole United States, and look at the future. All right. This is the Euro model. We're able to see 240 hours out in the future on this model, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at the whole thing and just talk about the weather. Okay. It looks like on Sunday, May 23rd at 2 p.m., we're still going to have that big insurgence of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, bringing showers and storms to many people in the central part of the United States. And actually, on the front end of the warm nose or the warm front here, there's actually probably going to be some zonal flow that brings down some showers and thunderstorms, possibly to people in Wisconsin and maybe even Michigan and even over here into the northeastern areas. This looks like general rain up here in Maine, but I would watch out for possibly some instances of heavier rainfall on Sunday as that moves through, okay? And also, look at this. We still got that snow back here in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, northeastern Utah. This does look like it's mainly going to be a higher elevation threat because, you know, this low pressure system and that trough are trying their best to pull down some cooler air back here. But as you can see, there's not a lot to work with. So I don't think this is going to be a widespread snow event for people in the valleys, but it's definitely interesting. And it definitely shows you that we have that upper level colder air available back here for any storms that try to form with this big insurgence of moisture over here. So that's why I think even as we go into next week, we're going to have multiple instances of severe weather as we go forward. Okay, look at here. Monday, we've got another area of severe weather that's probably going to form here in the high plains from North Dakota all the way down into Nebraska. Once we get that out of here, it does look like Tuesday, it looks pretty interesting again with possibly some more showers and thunderstorms all the way through this area from Wisconsin down into Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. Maybe probably not as much in the way of severe weather here, but definitely still something to watch as we get closer. We will talk more about that. And then as we go into the future, Wednesday is when it gets really interesting, okay? Wednesday night into Thursday, we get another little short wave of energy that tries to ram through here and interact with all of this warm air. I want to show you something real quick. Surface temperatures for a lot of us in the southeastern and central United States are going to be in the 80s and 90s. Dew points, especially right here in this warm sector, are going to be in the mid 70s, maybe even close to 80 in some areas. So we've got a lot of moisture, we got a lot of heat out there, and we got a lot of colder air on the backside. This is the perfect setup for severe weather systems to form here and then head east, okay? And I do believe that's what's going to happen Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, maybe all the way into Sunday of next week. We're going to have a multi-day severe weather outbreak, and this is going to be another situation where it's a dream scenario for storm chasers, okay? Because a lot of these storms are going to start over here and be at their most intense, points in the high plains, in like these big fields where nothing's going on, with nice road networks and everything. And in fact, I may actually be traveling out there next week to go storm chase myself in the Storm Sneaker. That's right, I've got the Storm Sneaker now. The Storm Seeker is still wrecked. It's still in the body shop. It'll be a while before that's fixed, but I got me a backup storm chasing car, and I do believe we're going to go try to do some storm chasing next week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for that, and also make sure you follow me on Facebook, because that's where I do the live streams for those storm chasing adventures. But anyways, as you can see, we've got some storms possibly going on here in Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, all the way on Thursday. And then check this out, Friday, Saturday, there's more storms that form down here in Oklahoma and Texas. And then, the further we get out, the more wishy-washy the models become. This is not exactly how it's going to look, but you can tell we're in this pattern where we just got this big time zonal flow, lots of moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. We've got some cold air locked up back here in the Rockies, and every time a little shortwave piece of energy tries to come through, it takes some of that with it, interacts with all this moisture out here, and we get a bada bing, bada boom storm system. All right, it's Stormtown, baby. And then as far as we can go out is Monday, May 31st. Okay, and we're still talking about possibly some severe weather out here. Let's take a look at the instantaneous flash rate here, just so you can get a better idea of how active the weather pattern is going to be, especially once we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Check this out. Tuesday, 5 p.m., widespread scattered thunderstorms going on from Wisconsin all the way down into Texas and Mexico. And then I think it gets a little bit more interesting on Wednesday. Check this out. A nice convective system working through Nebraska there. That's probably going to be an incredible storm chasing opportunity as that slides down into Iowa and eventually into Missouri. And then, the next day during the heating of the day, we get another big broad spectrum severe weather outbreak. And as you can see, there's just every day there's an area of intense thunderstorm activity. And if I play it fast, it's like, what? Where's it not going to storm over the next little bit? Look, we even have, once we get that zonal flow starting in, we even have opportunities for these storms to make it into the Ohio Valley, possibly even into the Mid-Atlantic region and southeast, which this area has been starved for storms. Not that anybody wants to see severe weather, but a lot of us need rain, and it does look like that rain is coming in the form of scattered thunderstorms and possibly even severe thunderstorms as we go into the future. And that's all the weather talk I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn those notifications on. We got to work on our notification squad, guys. YouTube tells me that our notification squad size is average. average. We can do better than this. Everybody hit that bell. Make sure you get a little notification every time I upload or go live. Also, I just want to remind you that the deal for people who want the awesome storm chasing merch is still available on shop.helicity.co. I've got links down in the description. And if you use the code RyanHall, y'all, you'll get 5% off your entire order. They've got awesome t-shirts over there, my radar hoodie and all that stuff. Make sure you go take advantage of that. And that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.